Speaking of Miami, I feel like we have to talk about it. I don't have it on the topic sheet, but we got to talk about it. Luis Suarez officially signs with Inter Miami. Adam, when you first saw the news, how did you feel? Well, how did you feel about the rumors? And then now that it's actually happening, has your thoughts changed from when you first thought when all the rumors are coming out to what it is now that it's reality?
So I was always kind of 50-50 on this. Um because of the news that came out about, how he basically said he was getting fucking injections to play, and that he was worried about his health. And then that's the man who's getting linked to Miami, and it's like but you got to think about this. They understand he's not going to be a starting every game type of player. They have Campana, they're gonna use Campana. Suarez is gonna be used, obviously, but he's not gonna be overused. I think they're getting him for that purpose. They know he's old, but you look at the stats that he's been putting up in Brazil. I, he could still cut it. He could still finish. I mean, he still got it.
Speaking of stats, I have it
If his
right
legs
here.
are healthy, then why not?
17 goals, 11 assists, played and started in 33 matches, and has 2,889 minutes played. And according to FOTMob, his rating is a 7.6, which from everybody that I know who
He's been
follows the
great.
Brazilian league, he played pretty well. He played really good, honestly. Not pretty,
And
he
it's a
played
tough
really
and it's a
good.
tough league. It's
It's
still
a
it's
better
considered
league.
a tough league.
Realist.
Well, yeah, definitely better than MLS if we're going to talk about comparing it there. But yeah, um, so that's going to be interesting. Like I said, we'll definitely talk more as the team gets finalized. I don't know if we want to talk too much um about Inter Miami. Um, right now because things are changing even today. Though there's rumors and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so it'll be exciting. I hopefully they can sign defenders because that's what we need. Um, we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
I will say this with the Suarez thing. At first, when I was even the stuff last year, so it was rumbling some even before Messi even signed. I wasn't a big fan of it because this was at the time before he went to Brazil. Then he was Atleti, didn't play a whole lot, and then he went to Uruguay to Nacional, and he played for half a season there. And it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of concerned me a lot. And then he had a lot. He still does have a lot of wear and tear. But I think if he was to come straight out of Uruguay and then he came in last year, I would have a lot more worrisome. But after seeing what he did in Brazil, like I said, which is a tougher league, I actually think Brazil's the sixth best league. I personally think it is. I know it's debatable. I've been watching a lot of the Dutch league. I don't know if the Dutch league is really that great. Um, but that's a topic for another. That's a discussion for another day. Regardless, he played really well. Like I said, 17 goals, 11 assists. Look, I would sign up for that any day of the week. And like you said, it's a long season. Look, we're gonna have the most games Inter Miami's gonna ever play in a year. We have US Open Cup, Champions Cup, the regular season, Leagues Cup, and more than most likely we're gonna make the playoffs. So we have a lot of things going on that you're gonna need a rotation. And that's why you're keeping Campana here. I don't know if they play together. Honestly, I think with the way the scheduling is, they probably won't unless they absolutely have to. I think
Yeah.
with the amount of games Suarez can do, you're going to want. I imagine a world where Suarez probably plays 25 games across all competitions, maybe 30 games across all competitions. Because I think in total, if we were to make it to the final in every single cup and play every single one, I think it's about 55 games. So I think he plays about half or maybe a little bit more than half. Look, I will say a lot of people are saying, like, look, yeah, he's getting the injections, but he still played 33 games, probably more than that, honestly, when you consider all the other stuff, all the other competitions going on. And in that heat in Brazil. But I get that he did that, but it still is another year. I mean, we've seen players all the time like look fine and then the next season completely just look gassed. So that does worry me some. Like for all the people like, oh, don't worry, this is how much he did. He did this much and this much and this much. And last year, I'm like, yeah, but that's another year wear and tear. That's another year wear and tear.
Yeah.
So that does concern me, but I do think with the rotation, I think the coaching staff with Tata Martino, they're going to do a good job of making sure. Look, he's playing every Champions Cup game, without a doubt. He's playing every. I think he's
Yes.
going to play cup games, and pretty much outside of the U.S. Open Cup in the beginning part, he's pretty much going to play cup games and regular season games when there's not a tournament going on. So like the middle of summer, towards the MLS playoffs, after Leagues Cup. So, but I think we're probably going to prioritize him for Champions Cup and Leagues Cup for sure. But I think, I mean,
Yeah.
look, having Campana is great. You're going to need him. Honestly, you're going to need him to step up. I think the B team in our attack is pretty solid. So it's going to be a pretty tight, first couple months trying to manage everything with the U.S. Open Cup, the regular season, and the Champions Cup. But yeah, I think he's going to do well. I warmed up to it. At first, I was super skeptical, but then after looking into it, I still am. I'm still in a wait and see. But at the end of the day, he's only making what $200,000, something. He's like on a TAM deal, not $200,000. He's making like 2 million or a million, 1.1, 1.2 million on a TAM deal. Like it's not the end of the world. It's only for one season. Get to have Suarez. If he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. You still have Campana there, and at the end of the day, it's still Suarez. It's still Suarez. If Suarez can bring in 15 goals, that's a huge success. I think that's more than what Campana and Joseph had in their season. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really good.